what I can share with you is some ground floor reality stuff for GitHub Copilot, in particular at ABN AMRO. Good, bad, ugly, ugly, bad, good. Let's start at the ugly bits. So I work for ABN AMRO. I work in IT. IT is important for ABN AMRO, but it's not core business. And I'm reminded by that every day because I have to balance delivery with shrinking budgets. Well, okay, they say the budget is going to shrink, but they keep it at the same level. And anyway, it's not going to increase anytime soon, right? And demand is growing. And we have a digital experience target, so, well, figure it out yourself. Which means, in practice, that I think we have more people focused on process, risk controls, compliance, than we have actual coders. At least if you look at the amount of hours spent in the company looking at risks, administering risks, issues, concerns, compliance, I'm willing to bet that that's a multitude of the hours actually spent coding. There's a colleague of mine in the back nodding heavily now, so. Which means that we have a constant obligation to, well, basically answer those people. And guess what? Those people are not techies. So they don't have a background in programming. They don't have a background in coding. They don't have a background in IT. They don't have a background in IT infrastructure. You name it. And they're not going to get it anytime soon. That's the context. So I'm having a hard time explaining to people why we would need Terraform as an infrastructure as code tool in the bank because of the risks associated with declarative infra provisioning. Already doing that, right? Spending more than my 40 hours a week trying to explain that. In comes Copilot, AI. So you write up stuff that you consider, well, risky in general with coding. And you start thinking about, so what could be risky with AI? There they are. The second one, monoculture. And that's something I didn't discuss with Lars during lunch or in the breaks, but I'm really interested in his view, so I will do it afterwards. Or we can do it perhaps in the follow-up of this. Monoculture. I heard somebody say, I didn't come up with it myself, but that AI is basically regurgitating existing stuff. It's a statistical parrot. So, yeah, it can't come up with new stuff. So, how do we prevent the same solutions being put to work over and over and over again, becoming like this, well, like I said, regurgitating machine? Wrong use cases. Ground floor reality, practical example. So, I am the GitHub Copilot administrator. Don't know why, but somehow I got the privileges. So people come to me asking, can I use GitHub Copilot? So much people came to me that we decided, well, let's do a pilot with Copilot. I call it Copilot Squared in my head. And Copilot Squared, people can apply to me. It's a really simple process. They mail me and they ask, hey, Jean-Paul, can I get Copilot? And then I ask them, what do you want to use it for? The use case, right? And then you get a zillion reasons for using it. And then I have to figure out, do I think this is a good use case or a bad use case? And how do I do it? Well, Nero style. Yeah, good. No, bad use case. So the example of a bad use case, guy says, yeah, I want to use it for the coding of yada, yada, yada. I said, okay, can you give me your repo URL? Yeah, sure. So he gave me his repo URL, and I went to it, and I saw that the last commit, and this was 2 weeks ago, I saw that the last commit was done February 15th. So I said, but dude, your commit is like more than 2 months ago. And by the way, before that, you only committed once every, I don't know, 2 weeks? Yeah, but I still want Copilot. I said, but you're not coding. Yeah, not often. Yeah. But dude, you have to code to be able to use it because it's a coding assistant. So what I'm trying to say here is that people don't understand that it's just a coding assistant. Nothing more, nothing less. They think it can do designs for them. What? It can't think for you. Thanks, Lars. Previous one. Let me see. Do I want to pick out another one of the yeah, diverts attention away from design. That's why I asked Cor earlier from Keylane. So to me, it all, yeah, sorry for stating the obvious perhaps, but you have to think before you act, right? And somehow, somewhere, we call it agile, DevOps, whatever. But we start a project and we start coding. What? People, come on. And it happens. In my company, it happens. And it hurts me to say it, but I can't change that culture soon. So I'm not giving them Copilot. I say, first show me your design. Then we will talk Copilot. Regulators. So yeah, we're a bank. We have first line, second line, third line, fourth line risk people. DNB, ECB. Now I'm doing my Calimero act here. That's, so it is tough getting things done under this regulatory pressure. So, and these people again are not techies. So how am I going to explain to them that this code was created with the use of Copilot? Okay, then Microsoft doesn't make it any easier because everybody says Copilot. So how many Copilots are there? Well, this is the count I came up with 3 weeks ago, and I think there's double amount of Copilots. And basically, there's an infinite amount of Copilots because you can create your own Copilot with one of these Copilots. Super Copilot. Super Copilot creates your own Copilot. And guess what? Most colleagues in my company don't understand the difference. So, do you use Copilot? Which Copilot? What do you mean? Which Copilot? Well, Copilot, you know, the AI thingy. So, what I'm trying to do is focus people on, please, understand that there's different AI, generative AI helps for different tasks. And this is just a list. And on the right, and there was another column there, which I took out for this meeting, but with people and departments, I also think that they should have an owner, and the owner is responsible for making sure that people do the training for that specific Copilot, which is not happening automatically in a big organization. Ground floor reality again. So, I'm responsible for the top one, GitHub Copilot. Nothing more, nothing less. We did a pilot squared. This is the outcome. Numbers, highly satisfied or satisfied, and nothing below that. 50 users, active coders. Perhaps a bit more active than normal because they had Copilot. But super enthusiastic. NPS score, basically through the roof if you compare it to other tools that we have. So, yeah, Lars. This is the slide you just showed with the satisfaction bit, you know, improves the flow, improves the blah, blah, blah. So when I looked at this, I am no longer a coder, I can't do it anymore, but I bought a Copilot license myself privately, and I started using it, and I love it. I have to admit. I don't have Microsoft shares, but it can't read your mind, but as a coder, what do? You start, and then, what's the API for this Java call again? Boof, there it is. It saves you ginormous amounts of time. Simple as that. Ooh, the clock is going down real fast. Let me... denying Copilot is like denying access to Google View years ago. Also, you know, I'm human, so I get convinced by other humans, especially the humans I like and trust. So I have a guy working for me, Mario. Mario is the best mobile programmer in the world. No exceptions. He works for me. Mario. Super Mario, right? Super Mario loves Copilot to death. To me, that's all basically you need to say. So every company has a Super Mario. So one of my advices would be find your Super Mario, give him Copilot, and ask him what do you think about it. Then we're also about money. And so we need to create a business case for Copilot. This is the type of stuff that we're thinking of. So workforce reduction. That's nasty. Nobody likes to sack people. But yeah, if you get more productive, if you get more efficient, and we're a bank, let's face it, what new functionality are we going to come up with? Can we reduce the workforce? Then you get into ethical aspects, right? So this is the, who mentioned it earlier? You lose your job, job security bit. Increase productivity. Like it says, we maybe don't have the best track record in promising extra productivity as it stands. So it's a hard selling point to use. I think, personally, I believe in see the most, investment in the workforce. Like you saw on the previous slide, people just like to use it. And guess what? We have attrition rates, people coming and leaving because they don't like what they're doing. If we give them Copilot, they're more happy. They stay longer. Business case. Apart from find your own Super Mario in your organization, also the bit about it's a coding assistant. So if you don't code, don't use it. Please don't try to use it for designing purposes. And another ground floor reality story. There was a case brought to me last week where a team, an IT engineering team, wanted to use Copilot to improve the code, the Python code created by data modelers. Because the data modelers were making the models in Python, they create crappy code, so they then hand it over to IT. IT says, can we use Copilot to improve the code? And that really got me thinking. My initial gut response was, no, send them to Python school. Make them learn better stuff. But the week on, I'm not so sure. Perhaps if Copilot can be used to improve the code, perhaps there's a business case there, right? So, in doubt, to be honest. And I now know what slides I'm leaving out, because it's already mentioned basically by Rob. But we also have CI/CD pipelines, we also have static analysis tooling, we have really experienced coders that are going to look at your code. So all this stuff you need to have in place still. Sorry for stating the obvious. Thanks for your attention.